The Broncos win their first game of the season in dramatic fashion. The final 37-28 on the road against the Jets on Thursday Night Football. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Broncos Postgame Show. I'm Phil Milani alongside Eric Delalas. Sidney Jones will be along in just a little bit. But, Eric, feels good to get that monkey off the back.
Oh, it does, Phil. It was not easy there. The Broncos jump out to a double-digit fourth-quarter lead, and then it all goes away so quickly as Brett Rypien throws two fourth-quarter interceptions. But Phil, he was able to do it. He brought him back, and the defense, we've talked so much about the inability to hold teams on those last drives. They did it here on Thursday night. That's the reason they got the win.
Yeah, the Broncos lost the turnover battle 3-0, but still ended up winning the game by 9 points. Not sure how many times you can do that, especially on the road. But you mentioned Brett Rypien there, Eric. What did you think about the young kid making his first career start in the NFL?
Really good at times, Phil. Obviously, he had the poor attempt at throwing the ball out of bounds in the first half that led to a turnover, but otherwise 3 scoring drives in the first half. He had an impressive drive, I thought, that ended near the beginning of the fourth quarter in response to a Jets scoring drive that put him up by 8. And, it seemed like things were rolling. And then, unfortunately, the wheels came off just a little bit there. Like we mentioned, Pierre Desir took an interception back for a touchdown to cut it, and then threw another pick. I think he had 2 picks and 3 pass attempts. The Jets took the lead. But, Phil, I was impressed because after he missed Deshaun Hamilton on a deep pass, he found Tim Patrick on the very next play, 3rd and 7 for 31 yards. That set up the go-ahead field goal, and they were able to hold on from there.
Got to have a short memory if you play that position, and he certainly put those interceptions behind him and led the Broncos ultimately on the game-winning drive, set up a field goal for Brandon McManus there. How about on the other side, Eric? The defense was really able to get pressure on Sam Darnold all game long. It didn't result in any turnovers, but he felt their presence all night long.
Yeah, they knocked him out of the game for a little bit. Alexander Johnson drove him down into the ground, hurt his shoulder. Joe Flacco made an appearance for a couple series there. But, 6 sacks for the Broncos. The most encouraging sign of the night might have been Bradley Chubb, who had 2.5, his first sack since coming back from his ACL injury. And he had the sack on that 4th down on really the Jets' final chance to give the Broncos the ball back. Then Melvin Gordon scored the touchdown to ice it. But like you said, pressure all day long. The Jets were able to move the ball at times, but not consistently enough, and certainly not with enough success in the red zone to be able to win this game.
All right, Eric, let's show the fans how this happened. Let's check out some of the highlights. We talked all week long about how a good start was going to be important, but on the opening drive of the game, Sam Darnold, looked like a running back, 46-yard touchdown. Eric, I'm not sure how that happened. He made moves on Alexander Johnson and Justin Simmons. But in the second quarter, Jerry Jeudy, we knew that he was going to make a play at some point to get in the end zone. Looked more like Randy Moss on this, his first career touchdown, 48 yards. Becomes just the 3rd Broncos receiver to reach 200 yards through just 4 games. Before halftime, Melvin Gordon pounded it in, his 50th career touchdown. The Broncos were up 4 at the break. Third quarter, Brett Rypien, a perfect pass. Tim Patrick, the concentration on the slight deflection there. And look who was watching, Eric. Russell Wilson tweeting about Brett Rypien, the kid born in Washington. But like we mentioned here, 2 fourth-quarter interceptions had the Broncos trailing by 1. Eric, you mentioned this play, 31 yards. Tim Patrick getting both feet in bounds, set up a 53-yard field goal by Brandon McManus. McManus played excellent. And then Bradley Chubb on 4th down gets the sack. He had 2.5 on the night. And then just for good measure here, Eric, a 43-yard run by Melvin Gordon. Put this thing away, put it to bed. More than 100 yards for Gordon on the night.
We're checking in with Bradley Chubb. Bradley, first off, first win of the season. How pumped are you? What does it mean to you guys to finally get a win?
It's good to finally break through and get a win. And all the odds were against us, and everybody stepped up and played their part, and everybody did what they had to do today in order for this team to win. Now we just got to keep stacking on them.
Yeah, you had your first sack of the season. You finished with 2.5 overall, 2 tackles for loss, 5 quarterback hits. Just tell me how you're feeling after a game like that.
I feel good. I feel real good. Now it just makes me even hungry. I know, like, my knee is good. I know all that's good now. So it's not one of those things that's in the back of my mind now. And I just got to go out there and prove it every week that this wasn't a fluke. And the whole defense is going to be behind me. I'm going to be behind the whole defense, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, how much does it mean to you to have a game like this after everything that you've been through, like you said, with your knee? How are you feeling mentally now?
Mentally, I feel amazing. Just being able to come back, and we've been in that position on defense so many times where we're up 2 and they got to drive and just kick a field goal. And to be the guy to actually stop it, and for the whole defense just to get past that hump, it just feels amazing. And I'm just ready to keep building on it. I'm just happy that we had the opportunity to do that this week.
All right, last one for you, Bradley. Did I see a new sack dance out there? What was going on with that? I got to hear about it.
I promised those guys, when I first get my first one, I was going to beef it up. It's like an old Atlanta dance, and I just had to pull it out one good time, and hopefully I can pull it out a lot more this season.
Well, I love it. I look forward to seeing more of it. Thank you so much for your time, Bradley.
All right, appreciate it.
Eric, if you're the Broncos, are you feeling encouraged by the win? Or, hey, you know that you let this Jets team that isn't really good back in this game?
Well, I think it can be both. You can be happy that you finally got a win here, improved to 1-3, kind of saved at least a chance at salvaging this season, because now you get games against the Patriots and the Dolphins that you hope are winnable. Let's see if you can stack a couple more and get back in that thing. Like I said, you see Bradley Chubb get some sacks, which was something we've been waiting for several weeks. And there were promising elements of the offense with Tim Patrick, Jeudy, Melvin Gordon obviously had a big day. But, yeah, like you mentioned, you let the Jets back in the game. I don't think this offense is a finished product. Who knows what you do at quarterback now with 10 days before your next game. Still too many penalties, not to the degree of the Jets, who really, I think, 6 personal fouls that salvaged a bunch of Broncos scoring drives. And then, Phil, the last thing is the injuries again. KJ Hamler ruled out with a hamstring. Noah Fant ruled out with an ankle injury. Those are 2 guys you can't afford to lose for an extended period of time on an already beat-up offense. So it is a little bittersweet, but better than losing the game for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Easier to go back and look at these things after a win. But, yeah, the injuries continuing to mount. We'll have to find out how bad things are with Hamler and Fant there moving forward. But, hey, the Broncos no longer a goose egg in the win column. They beat the Jets by 9 points on Thursday Night Football, get their first win and a much-deserved weekend off. That is going to do it for us. For Sidney Jones and Eric Dahl, I'm Phil Milani. Thanks for watching the Broncos Postgame Show.